This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to CWK Live every Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm your host, Dan Zare, thrilled to be talking Star Wars with each and every one of you. Let's say hello to our friends. Minta is here. This is the way. It's CWK Day. Hello, Minta. Blake, what is up? And he says, what's up, fam? And Jason is here as well. Hello there, Jason. So, you may notice the studio looks quite a bit different today. This weekend, Ben, it's great to have you back. Hello, Josh. Good to have you, my friend. So this weekend, I'm looking at my studio and I'm thinking, you know what? Something's not working for me. So I've changed things dramatically. I've changed things quite a bit. So what you're seeing is much more of the studio itself. You can see figures and lightsabers, and on the back of my studio door there is hats and press passes from different events I've covered over the years. And it looks like my Darksaber fell down too. So how about that? So yeah. Thanks, Josh. It looks great. I've redone the lighting. Thankfully, my eldest son, Peyton, was home this weekend, and so he helped me set that up. So I'm very happy with it. I think it's going to help the show a lot. So if anything, for that peace of mind, you know how it is when you've got your space, and when it's organized, you just feel better about things. Ben says, I love the new angle and seeing more of the room. Well, thank you so much. I'm really happy with it. I came down here last night, and I was just kind of looking around and setting things up. It's been great fun. What also is going to be great fun, by the way, is talking with all of you tonight about what we've got going on. What do we have going on for today's show? We've got your top 5 moments from Light and Magic, Gang of Outsiders, the first episode. Got some Podathan news, which I haven't talked about too much yet on the show, and we've got your comments and questions. So that's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. Jason says, the studio looks great. Well, thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. I'm sure I will always tweak it, but yeah, we got a bunch of statues and things back there, and some rare books and lots of fun stuff. That's great. All right, speaking of great, let's talk to all of you about what is brewing in the world of Star Wars this week.
And now, let's see what's brewing in the Star Wars universe this week.
Hello, Jamie. Jamie is back. What's up, Jamie? Good to see you, buddy. Very good to see you. All right, so what's brewing in the world of Star Wars this week? I know you all are aware, or I shouldn't say I know, but Rogue One is coming back. It's going to be on IMAX and massive IMAX screens, which is very exciting. I know they did some promos with that with E.T. and some other shows. I believe Jaws is going to have an IMAX showing as well, which is really cool. Now, Rogue One, I didn't get tickets for that because the closest one is like 3 hours away from me, unfortunately. But I would love to see it on IMAX. I wonder if any of you have gotten a chance to go ahead and get your tickets to that. But let me show you kind of what's going on in this world of CWK. Not only is Coffee with Kenobi going to be a part of the Podathon, but here are all of the shows that are going to be participating in Podathon. For those of you who are not aware, I believe it's the third year that they've done it. For sure, I've been able to be a part of it. And you see all the shows on here. September 17th, 2022, we're basically going to be doing podcasting all day. Some of your favorites are going to be a part of it. And there's going to be some major guests, like some really serious star power. Minta says, nice. Well, thank you, Minta. We're really excited about it. It goes to a great cause because, again, all of the money raised is going to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which is great. And Star Wars is such a great community for giving back. Let's take a look at who's going to be on these shows. Well, look at this. Ryan Johnson. Ashto Radio is going to have Ryan Johnson on, which is quite remarkable, really. Hello, Mary. Good to see you, my friend. Christopher Sean is going to be on Tatooine Sons. Kristen Baver from Lucasfilm is going to be on Tarkin's Top Shelf. And a frequent contributor to StarWars.com and author Kelly Knox is going to join Kanata's Castle. So that's great. That's a really great lineup. But that's not it, my friends. That's not it. So Matt Martin, Lucasfilm Story Group's executive Matt Martin, is going to join me on Coffee with Kenobi. I'm very excited for that. Matt and I are really good friends, and anytime I get to talk to him, it's going to be great. So it'll be fun to do that. Charles Soule is going to be on Broaxium, which is amazing. Gary Whitta is going to be on Followers of the Force, and Zoraida Cordova is going to be on the Night Sisters podcast. So we've got some incredible little star-studded folks that are going to be joining us, which is really quite a blessing. Also, it was announced yesterday that Seth Green is going to be on the show too. So a lot of really hardcore Star Wars fans. There are a lot of prizes that are going to be given away, a lot of donations from DK, Regal Robot, Inside Editions, and Del Rey as well, and you can see all the others. Again, so when you donate, basically not only are you donating, but you're entered into a drawing to win some incredible prizes. So it's really cool. So if you're around September 17th, literally it's going to be going on all day and most of the evening. And I'm not sure if the schedule's been announced yet, but when it is announced, I will let you know when all these shows are going to be on, when the guests are going to be on, when I'm going to be talking with Matt. So that'll be fantastic. So again, I shouldn't say again, I haven't really mentioned this yet. And there's a QR code for you. But for every $5 you donate to Podathan, benefiting Make-A-Wish, you receive an entry into a raffle to win prizes from amazing companies like Del Rey, Inside Editions, DK Books, Real Robot, Planeticture, I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, 2797 Studios, Bandai Namco, and Lucasfilm. Again, it's the third annual event. It is going to be on September 17th, 2022. For more, go to thepodathon.com or at thepodathon on social media. So there's that. Pretty cool. Now, the D23 Expo is going to be, in less than 3 weeks. In fact, it's going to be in about 18 days from today. Ben says, that's such a great cast of podcasts and guests. Can't wait. Yeah, Ben, it's going to be a blast. It's really going to be great. Looking forward to seeing everybody there. So the D23 Expo is in Anaheim, California, the same place where they had Star Wars Celebration back in May. And I can officially announce that I am going to be at the D23 Expo. Really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to bringing you coverage. I am not hosting anything currently, as far as I know. So I'll just be able to go around and cover the event and do it up old school Coffee with Kenobi style. Really looking forward to that. Hoping to run into as many of you there as possible. So yes, if you were at the D23 Expo, September, I believe, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Is that right? Let me check my calendar here. I know when I get on an airplane. I know that much. Yeah, it's the 9th, 10th, and 11th of September. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. New announcements for film and Disney Plus and the theme parks and all kinds of stuff. I have no idea what's going to be announced, but I can't wait to go there and be a part of it. All right, so there's that. Really looking forward to that. But now let's jump into really pouring into the top 5 moments from Light and Magic. Episode 1 is called Gang of Outsiders. Now, we talked about the show a little bit periodically, but we're really going to be able to do a deep dive into it now, which is wonderful. It's a great series. You heard my interview with Gene Bolte from ILM talking more about it, but let's go into it ourselves as a Coffee with Kenobi community. I see if we've got some more people just joining us. You may notice it looks a little bit different in here than it usually does, but that is because I have redone the studio, changed the lighting, changed the camera angles, a lot of stuff, so you're going to get much more of the studio experience and the things that I see all the time in here, which is great. All right, top 5. Here we go. Number 5 for me. Where's my face? There I am. $2 million special effects budget for the original Star Wars. When I heard that, and I realized money was much different back then, but it blew my mind. It blew my mind. Well, hello. My good friend Scott is here. He says, sweet setup. Really looks nice. Well, thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. You have to come to the studio sometime and hang out. Blake says, going to be working on some other top 5s because my memory isn't the best since I saw it on its premiere day. That's okay. I actually wrote down some notes when I first did it so that I could remember this because I know there's a lot of things happen. Plus, these are very detailed episodes, too. Meanto's number 5 is the intro. It was amazing to see the various films that have been done over the years, showing how far we've come on cinema. Exactly, and that ties into my number 5. The budget, the fact it was $2 million. And it still holds up beautifully today. It's pretty mind-blowing. You're talking about one of the most innovative films ever made, the original Star Wars, and the fact that it only had a $2 million SFX budget in late 70s pricing, mid 70s pricing, pretty staggering to me. Number 5 for Jason. I love seeing a behind-the-scenes look at how my favorite movies were made. It was definitely a trip down memory lane to my childhood. Me too, Jason. Me too. Really, really fascinating. The whole series is great. Ben's number 5, the water slide. I love seeing how hard they work, but it's great to see how much fun they had in between working. Work should feel like that every day. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Jamie's number 5, the opening sequence of the show or episode itself. Seeing all the historic visual effects in one place gave me such a great appreciation of these efforts over the years. Yeah, the dedication and the fact that they're multi-talented and they have so many things that they're interested in and that they tried. I think there's a lot of great inspiration in that. I really like that a lot. It's really, really fun. Okay. Well, I think that is everybody that's going to weigh in. I don't know that for sure. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Oh, 5 for Mary. Yes, there you go. How important the stop action movies were to so many of the individuals. For example, 7 Voyages of Sinbad. I know, by Ray Harryhausen. Isn't that cool? I like that too. And how much that plays into Phil Tippett and his involvement. I will say, after watching this, it just made me more proud. I was super honored to interview Phil Tippett and Dennis Muren and Gene Bolte. But then seeing everything that they did and what they went through and their passion and their knowledge, they're like the top. They're like in the top 1% in this field. And it's staggering that we're so lucky as Star Wars fans that they worked on not only Star Wars, but they worked on all these cool movies that we love. Let's see. Oh, I just knocked over Cobra Commander. Sorry, Cobra Commander. Yes, there are a few things in the studio that are not Star Wars. I must tell you. Number 5 for Blake. For me, knowing this was my dad's generation, seeing how guys at his age changed filmmaking forever from A New Hope on. Oh, that's a great perspective. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Let's jump into number 4. Number 4 for me is the matte paintings. It's just so much more intricate than I realized, and they're in more spots than I realized. I mean, even now when I watch New Hope, I don't think that's a matte painting. I mean, sometimes you think it, but the way they show how the matte paintings are superimposed over the film and the set pieces, and especially in Empire, which we'll get to later, as many as were done and how powerful and effective they are and how talented they all were and are. It's just, I have goosebumps now. I'm just really so impressed. I love it. Maybe I should get a matte painting back here. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Number 4 for Minta is the hamburger. It's incredible to see the process of how they made the Millennium Falcon, even giving it nicknames like the hamburger. You know what, Minta? That's going to show up later in my list for sure. Number 4 for Mary is the original Star Wars trailer and then all the various clips from so many movies from ILM. Pretty fabulous. I agree with you. Jason's number 4 was fascinating to see all the influences that went into Star Wars, World War II movies, fantasy, sci-fi, and etc. Yes, definitely. Ben's number 4, the cliffhanger. They only completed 2 of the 400 scenes with 6 months to go before opening night, and George was not happy. His reaction to that moment needs to be a GIF or a meme. Yes, that the making of Star Wars, written by J.W. Rinsler. It's like a coffee table book. I highly recommend that. It really goes over this stuff in great detail. It's amazing. It's kind of miraculous that it happened. It was very hard on George. It would be on anybody. Jamie's number 4, the wide variety of experiences of Richard's career. The Navy, invention of the pig-nosed guitar amplifier, driving cable cars in San Francisco. Isn't that cool? Yeah, like, I constantly watch this, like, wow, these people are amazing. What would you get for a matte painting? I mean, I don't know, something cool for the Falcon or Batu, or like, if I could put like the Millennium Falcon set up behind me, that would be super cool, I think. That's a great question. Blake, I'll copy you, Dan, and say the matte paintings. There have been some shots I didn't know were paintings until I was an adult. Shows how old school filmmaking, even without CGI, can be so convincing. Yeah, I mean, we talk about the void and all that stuff, which is great, but this was really special. Really super cool. All right. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. So again, as always, weigh in here. You can weigh in the CWK Cafe, our Facebook group. And naturally, if you don't catch this show live, like those of you watching right now, you can hear the audio feed, or you can watch it later on Instagram or YouTube. Okay, we've got a few more. Ben says, I have that book, still working my way through it. I'm halfway through the making of the MCU set right now. I know, how dare I start there? No, Ben, I think that's great. You can't live on Star Wars alone. I think that's cool. I would like to read that one too. I think that's really neat. To the cliffhanger at the end of the episode, I agree with Ben Anderson. The look on George's face should be a meme. It should. I'm sure it probably is. Or one of you, you're all very talented and savvy. You should jump on that. That would be fun. All right, so Minta's moved to number 3, so I think I will too. I think that's a great idea. Kind of got carried away. Number 3 for me is camera movement. The fact that the camera moves instead of the model or the props, so you don't have to change the lighting. It's very, very, it's like a speck of sand compared to the Sahara Desert. My lighting compared to what they did at ILM and with Star Wars. But seeing my son set this up and all the stuff that goes into lighting, I can respect why they came up with innovative ways so not to mess with lighting all the time, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So the fact that the camera moved instead of the model was just amazing to me. It's just the science and the art that go into making a film just blow my mind, and just seeing that perspective really was kind of inspiring to me. Mary's number 3. All the home movies shown, so many of them did as young people, and of course the videos of all them chilling out at work. Oh, the home movies, that's great call, Mary. I should have thought about that. I like that too. That was really fun. Jamie's number 3, Resurrection and the backstory of the VistaVision system. Yes, I've actually seen that thing where they did the VistaVision. I've seen that at Lucasfilm. It's pretty cool. It's massive. Jason's number 3. It's so inspiring to see the humble beginnings of ILM, a group of people with no artistic boundaries, testing their skills and capabilities and using whatever resources they had available to make a great work of art. Yes, that's so neat. So cool. Jason, good to have you back, man. It's good to see all of you. I always like Monday's such a highlight for me. I know Mondays can be like, oh, it's Monday and Garfield and all this kind of stuff. But I love Mondays because we get to talk about Star Wars. I get to talk about Star Wars with my people. So it's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into, here's Blake's 3. The fact these guys only had around 2 shots done with a short time remaining. We know how it all ended, but to hear the tension behind it all never ceases to amaze me about that magical film that changed everything. Never give up is the message I take. I agree with you. Never give up. Follow your dreams. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Be well-rounded and versatile so that when opportunities come your way, you can seize them. Josh says it's a highlight. Well, thanks, Josh. It's a highlight to chat with you, my friend. Ben's number 3. The story of everyone coming together through famous monsters of filmland. I just love hearing how people of great talent come together through a shared passion. They only had one thing in common at the time, and it led to Star Wars. Amazing. Jason says, thanks. It's great to be back. Last week was the start of school for our kids. There was a lot going on here. Jason, I know how that is, buddy. I know exactly how it is. We had the same thing. It definitely throws you for a loop, but it's nice to be back. Let's go on to number 2. Joe Johnston's legacy. Look, Joe Johnston's even more instrumental than I remember. The things he designed, the things he drew, the fact that he could do painting and art and camera and photography and directing, and I'm just in awe of that guy. I hope I get the chance to see him. I mean, and as a side note, I love, The Rocketeer, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and of course Captain America, the First Avenger. He's just great. But seeing everything he did and everything he accomplished and how instrumental he was to the success of the original film, I feel like we sometimes forget about that, or I do, or maybe I didn't realize it in the first place, but it's so good. So good. Josh's Famous Monsters is returning. It's true. Mary Sue, the development of the Falcon was amazing. Yes, it sure was. Number 2 for Jamie, the fact that Harrison Elishaw was lured over from Disney and influenced by the paintings of Ralph McQuarrie. Really neat. I really liked seeing Harrison speak. Jason's 2, the motion control system that was built from scratch. Pure genius. Yes, it was. Minta's 2, I love how they show the tenuous process between the camera work and the stop motion animation. It makes you truly appreciate the movie even more. Yeah, it does. It's amazing. It's I don't know that I could do it. Thank goodness they can. Blake, seeing how the classic monster movies I've been a fan of my whole life affected those ILM guys with what they did. Isn't that cool? What's your favorite classic monster movie, Blake? I'd love to know. Ben's number 2, matte paintings. Just seeing that process and all the beautiful artwork that made some of the best scenes in the movie. Yeah, it's just staggering what they could do. Really staggering to me. I was quite impressed, quite moved by it. Okay, feel free to jump in here, but if not, we're going to jump into number 1. Godzilla, the best ever. Oh, there you go. There you go. Number 1, our top 5 favorite moments in the first episode of Light and Magic. The Falcon's creation. I mean, of course, if I can't fit Kanan, Jarrus, or Jedi, I'm going to try to fit the Falcon in here. So Joe Johnston has to come up with this design. They don't want to do one from like the space, what was it? Space. I can't remember the year that it was. So he looks over and he sees these 2 plates and he puts them on top of each other and the Millennium Falcon. I mean, that helps to inspire the look of the Millennium Falcon. And I grossly underestimated how impactful he was to creating the Millennium Falcon. I mean, Boba Fett, the Falcon, all the things that Joe Johnston has done. Like, are you kidding me? Like, if I had to take my Mount Rushmore of who is important to Star Wars, I might have to put Johnston on there. Because, oh my goodness, the fact that he created the Falcon automatically escalates him very highly for me. Space 1999. I thought it was 1999, but then I thought maybe I'm just thinking of that Prince song. So thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Meantime, Legacy of the OGs, seeing how they start from humble beginnings and they were a tight-knit family. Really nice to see. Jamie's similar to mine. The Falcon 2 plates, a radar dish, and a cockpit that sits on the right. Yeah, seeing all those different versions was pretty cool. Let's see. Mary Dykstra's genius. Yeah, we haven't talked about John Dykstra, but wow, what a guy. What a guy. Makes you wonder what would have happened if he would have been around for the other films. So amazing watching him pull all these people together and then create such wild technology, which he did. Benzer one, also Joe Johnston. I love his comments about making mistakes. Now there's always the next time. And to hear how that inspired the creation of the Millennium Falcon. You said it best. What a legacy. So much so. Josh Flizzy fully agrees on Johnston. Yeah, what an amazing man. Jason's number 1. The story of the design and construction of the Millennium Falcon started with a pile of dirty dishes and was nicknamed the pork burger or the hamburger. I can't remember which one it was. It was delicious. We know that. And an awesome ship. The coolest ship in the galaxy. Blake's number 1 is George. I think this series is the most Lucas we've gotten since the Disney purchase. I think you're right. To hear the man who's made one of the biggest influences on my life this much for the first time in years feels so good, and it just gets better from the first episode. Yeah, it does. What a series, right? What a series. Josh says it was a funky show with the moon getting shot out of orbit, but the eagles were a beautiful design. Yes. Okay. I had never seen it, but I know about some of the designs. I mean, it's pretty legendary for sci-fi fans in the 70s especially, so that's cool. Well, gosh, what are we going to do for next week? I think we know. We're going to look at the second episode in Light and Magic, which is on the bucking Bronco, finishing up A New Hope and going into the next iteration of Star Wars and what's going to become of that. Great stuff. I'm looking forward to rewatching that second episode again, and I hope that you will join me next week. So, from here, let's jump into Ask Dan Z. So Ben says he's guessing that Lawrence Kasdan called George and asked for interviews, helped us to get more of him. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. I know there's a lot of respect and mutual admiration there between the two of them, so that would be great. I mean, Lawrence Kasdan, such a blessing to be able to talk to him and hear his enthusiasm for this project. He's I mean, again, so many great people. I'm so happy that so many people continue to collaborate, 40 plus years later and be a part of Light and Magic, because it's been really special to see. I'm glad we get to watch it together. Blake says, since Star Wars Visions, have there been any anime you have jumped into? There is not, Blake. I'm sure the next anime I see will be Visions, the second season. I mean, I totally love it and respect it and dig it. I just am not able to find, there's almost so much time in my in my genre-filled day, and it usually ends up getting filled up with this stuff. But totally into it. Ben says, so what other non-Star Wars things do you have in that room? Well, I just got this in the mail. I posted it on Twitter. It's definitely not Star Wars, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So this is from San Diego Comic-Con. This is the Pyramid of Darkness pack. There's Shipwreck, Snake Eyes, and several Cobras, Jet Troopers, and a robot. There you go. It's even got file cards on the back. It's great. It's just so cool. So cool. Yep. Oh, yeah. I got him. Here. And then Josh was cool enough and kind enough to get me some stuff. I've got that displayed over here, too. But it's mostly Star Wars, of course. I mean, 99.9% is Star Wars. Yeah. Great. Great stuff. I'm trying to figure out ways. How can I fit more G.I. Joe in here? You know, it's a lifetime. It's a lifetime of constant evolution. So I'm sort of like a shark in that regard. I'm always moving, always trying to figure out new ways to redo stuff or to make stuff a bit fresher. Because I feel like, just like when I'm teaching, right? If it's fresh for me, and then I will keep it fresh for the students. If I become stagnant or not as excited about my material, then that's going to, I feel like, be sort of transmitted to the kids. And I don't want them to feel that way. I want them to feel excited. So I try to reinvent things all the time, not only in the studio with Coffee with Kenobi, but in my classroom as well, because I just feel like that's important. It just creates an energy. I'm getting excited because I love it. I'm very blessed to have the life that I have. And the reason I have it is because of all of you and your generosity and your support and your friendship. So I really appreciate all of you. Jason says, are the animated G.I. Joe movies from the 80s available to watch anywhere? Seen those file cards brought back some great memories. Jason, yes. There's a G.I. Joe official YouTube page, and they've got all of them. So you can stream them for free. Right there, I know they've got them on iTunes too, but they're really expensive. I have the old DVDs of them, but yeah, you can stream them on YouTube's channel, which is super cool. YouTube's channel. My She-Hulk thoughts. So actually, after the show, I'm going to record CWK Pour-Over, where myself, Tom Gross, and Corey Club are going to go in great depth into that. What I love about doing Pour-Over, if you remember the CWK Alliance, you get access to Pour-Over, which is a weekly exclusive podcast for as little as $5 a month, which is really pretty cool. And let's see, let me show you that promo. Yeah, there's Pour-Over. It's a really fun show that we get to do at coffeewithkenobi.com/support. So that's my long-winded intro of saying, how do I feel about She-Hulk? I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things Marvel has ever done. I think it's tremendous. I've actually watched the first episode 3 times. It's great. It is great. We recorded our legal analysis of She-Hulk last time. Oh, perfect. Oh, dude, I can't wait to hear it, Josh. That's tailor-made for you guys. Jason says, what? Thanks, Dan. I'll be looking up that YouTube channel right after the show. Oh, it's great, man. I will say the older G.I. Joe cartoons are much better. But, yeah, it's so fun. It's just fun to have it on and just, Mason is digging it, and it's fun. I'm having a blast doing it. Here's another figure. This is going to, when I show this to Corey and when I'm buying it, so I apologize for being an enabler and a bad influence right away. But look, Super 7 makes G.I. Joe figures. They're like the Kenner ones, but they're just 5 points of articulation. But they're based on the comics and the cartoons, not the figures themselves. So they're cool, right? So Cobra Commander right there. Josh says it's like Marvel wrote us a love letter. Yeah, I know. I agree with that. I very much agree with that. All right, Cobra Commander, you stay there. I've got to hit the outro. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on CWK Live every Monday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. Next week, we're going to be looking at the second episode of Light and Magic. Let me throw that up here again for you. The episode is called On the Bucking Bronco. I like the symbolism there because it just seemed like they were in a no-win situation. But of course, it very much worked out very well. And now we've got Star Wars in this great community. Mary says, have a great week, everyone. You too, Mary. Thanks so much for being here. Minta, thank you. May the Force be with you. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. Please invite a friend, tag somebody in the comments, have them join us next week so we can continue to add this wonderful Star Wars community. I'm trying to think if there's any other announcements I need to share, but no, we talked about Podathan. talked about me going to the D23 Expo in a couple of weeks. Got some good stuff going on, and I can't do it without all of you. So thank you again so very much. Blake, love you too, brother. Thanks so much. Jason says, lots of fun as always. Have a great week, everyone. You too, Jason. Let me know what you think about those Joes. Ben says, happy summer is calming down enough for me to be back. See you, everyone. Yes, thank you. Yeah, we've got a few more weeks of warm weather, I'm assuming, and then we're going to get the fall and pumpkins and Halloween and all that cool stuff. So I will see you. What an awkward transition. Apologies. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Remember, this is the podcast you're looking for. I will see you next time. Oh, I am going to come back for this. By the way, got a special show on Wednesday. I knew there was something on Wednesday. Look for a podcast from me. And you're not going to believe who I talk to. It's going to be fun. All right. This time I'm really going to go bye-bye. See you soon. On Wednesday, actually.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.